Alright guys, welcome back to Token Talks. Today we will be talking about Microsoft Game Pass. And just to give you guys a little reminder, just subscribe, leave a comment, and tell us what you think about it when we're done telling you what we think about it. So Greg, I know you looked at it with me earlier. Game Pass, what is it?
It's essentially a monthly subscription that you can get to play multiple games essentially for free, after
After the
that
subscription, yeah.
after the subscription. And it has a fairly significant amount of titles, and you can do that monthly when you get it, and it essentially lets you play all of these game titles until like the end of the month or until you cancel your subscription. And it also gives you things like discounts on Xbox One games and 360 games that may or may not be related to the pass.
Yeah, exactly. So I think also a few differences to be made here is that there are over 100 games, 112 games already on the list, and they're going to be adding titles every month. They consist of Xbox 360 games and Xbox One games. Obviously, older titles. These aren't going to be like the newest AAA game here. That'd be crazy. And also, is that these games are not streamed. These games you download to your console, you play it off your console. And if you buy it, you can keep it. And if you keep the subscription, you can keep the game. So that is a big difference I'd like to make right off the bat. Now, some of you out there might be a little bit more in the know and know that PlayStation or Sony has their thing called PlayStation Now, which is a similar product where you stream games, where they have PlayStation, PlayStation 2, and PlayStation 3, and I think some PS4 games. They just started adding PS4 games to it, and it streams it. Now, in some ways, that's better. In other ways, that's worse. What sucks about streaming is that if you have bad signal, so if you have bad Wi-Fi, if you have slow internet, if you have a data cap, well, you're not going to be playing much of that game. The positives are that you can play it on basically anything. So, like, if you have a PC or a laptop that's, like, really weak and can't play games, well, you can stream some of those Sony games to your computer. And they don't do it anymore, but they used to let you do it to your TV. They don't do that anymore, but there are, hopefully in the future, they'll open it up to more things. But it's a cool program, but it has its limitations, where this, you can download direct, and that makes a big difference, meaning it's running off of your hardware. Don't worry about internet. Don't worry about poor Wi-Fi. Don't have to worry about data caps. It's really, really cool. Something else to be mentioned, how much is this service, Greg? Do you know?
It's about $9.99 a month, and you have any time to cancel.
Okay, that's cool. So no contract, which is good. And $10 a month. That is better than Sony. Sony's program costs $20 a month. And, they have certain deals if you buy like 6 months at a time or whatever. But still, $20 a month is definitely a lot more than $10 a month. But
and lets you start off also with a 14-day free trial.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. So that you can kind of get in there, see what they have, if you like any of them, and if not, you don't have to commit for the whole month. I think the price is good. I think $10 is a sweet spot, but I don't know. Like, it sounds good at first, and then you think about it, and it's like, that's $120 for the whole year. Ugh. And then guess what? If you want to play online, if you want all these good features, you have to buy, Xbox Gold, and that's what, like another $60 a year. So you're looking at like $180 a year if you want to have Xbox Live plus Game Pass. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It starts to get pretty expensive, and so I guess the question to be raised is, like, who is this for? Like, who buys this? Who buys a subscription?
I'm not exactly sure. Like, at first, I would think it would be good for people who have like a very limited library, and want to try out a bunch of different games, because 10 bucks a month, and during a month you can probably knock back like a good amount of games, which means you'd probably get a good money's worth. But these are also older games, so you got to be thinking like, right now, are these games really worth that kind of money? Like some might be, some might not be. But if you don't follow through, like at the end of it all, you have nothing to really show for it, because you may have those games while you have the pass, but they deactivate as soon as you know, end it. Like you
Yeah.
could be playing for like a whole year straight, or you could go for a subscription for like the whole year, end up not playing that much, like you don't get your money's worth out of it, and then at the end of it, you have nothing to really show for it. Like you don't have any games actually purchased.
Yeah, it's a weird thing, and I don't know if people are ready for it yet. I do think that's probably going to be the future of video games, regardless of platform, where you just pay a fee and you can play all the games, right? Um, I think downloading it to your hardware is still going to be where it's at. In the future, they might try to go full streaming like Sony is. I like having my computer. I like building my computer. I don't think I'll ever be happy with streaming a game, but regardless, downloading a game, paying a subscription fee like Netflix, like $10 a month, like Game Pass, and having access to all the games sounds great. The problem is that you don't. You have access to some old games, good games, but old games, games you might have already played. Especially the bigger games on here, you might have already played those bigger games, so that this definitely loses value for you if that's the case. And on top of all of that, right, it's like, well, we just went through it, right? To buy Xbox Live and to buy this subscription for a year, you're spending like $180. Now, let's say you're going to buy Xbox Live no matter what. So $120 a year for this subscription. But that's that's two AAA titles a year. And for a casual gamer, that might be all they need, to get those two big games a year. That's it. Get your Call of Duty, beat it, play online for 6 months, and then buy the other big game that comes out every year that you play. I'm focusing on like casual gamers here, you know what I mean? And yeah, it's $120 and you only get two games, but it's two games that are new, that you're going to play, that you're going to have a new experience, and you're going to play them for a while. And then right when one is finished, you're probably going to buy another one, where here it's like, all right, $120 for a year and you get access to all these games. But realistically, how many of these games are you going to play? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we're not going to go through the whole list here today because that'll take a while. There's 112 games already, but there's only a handful of big games. But like I said, they're old, so they're big games. You probably already played them. Like Gears of War 3, like you probably already played it. And if you haven't played it by now, it's probably not high on your list. You know what I mean?
Then like rest of the games, like they're fun, but they don't really have that much replayability.
Yeah, exactly. Like they're pretty simple games, or like they have Banjo Kazooie, right? And those games are great. Don't get me wrong, but not everybody is into a 3D platformer, collectathon type game. So for those people, those games aren't going to be touched. Now, this could all change in a year from now when they add a whole bunch of new games and there's a lot of other stuff on here, a lot more recent stuff on here. Maybe that'll change. I think it's a good idea. I think if you have an Xbox and you don't play it, and by that I mean you don't even really buy new games either, but you have an Xbox and you want to use it, this might be good for you. You pay $120 a year, you get all these games. Every night you sit down, there's going to be something for you to play, and just leave it at that. But if you are the casual gamer who is, active and does buy new games twice a year, maybe 3 times a year, maybe not so much for you. But this is definitely not for the guy who buys every game when they come out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but there's also the option of just waiting until there's games you want to play on, pay for a specific month, play through everything you want to in that month, and then just cancel it until something else big comes out.
That's true too. That is true. But then there's also, there's also the argument to be made of, well, why not buy used at that point, or buy on a sale where it's like for instance, like you're saying, right, like that big AAA game comes out in November, and you're not gonna buy it, right? You're not that guy, because I don't do that. I'm not that guy who buys games when they come out, and then it's gonna take a year and a half for it to come onto this system, right? Come onto the subscription plan. But let's say a year from then, you can pick it up for like $15 used, and then you can sell it back. Like you're not gonna get $15 for it, but maybe you'll get like $8 for it when you sell it back. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
It's such a tricky situation to be in if you're someone considering this, like, and it comes down to, like it always comes down to, the games, because this would be really compelling if you knew 6 months after every release it'll be on here.
Yeah. Let's say you get the subscription for 1 month in like 6 month intervals. So let's say I get it in November. The next time I'd play would be somewhere in like May. Like, I think you can get a good amount of gameplay from all the new content that's on there during that 6 month period, where you could play through everything you really wanted to play through for that month, and then it might feel like you're getting paid back enough at the end of it.
Yeah, and you see, that might make it worth it for like that 1 month. But then what happens in the 6 months in between? Like you have nothing to play. You're not using your console, which again, a console isn't a computer. It's not like you can do everything on it. It only plays games. So like it's kind of a waste if you're just having the console sit there, and that 1 month you got your money's worth because you played, let's say, 10 or 20 games in that 1 month, but now you have 6 months without a game. And in my opinion, in the long run, like over the year, I don't think it's really worth it with the amount of time that you're not playing games. Like, I get it, that's coming from us, but I feel like if I had a console, I'd really want to use it like at least 3 times a week. You know what I mean? And so
Yeah. But for me, like, because how my schedule works out, like maybe there's every couple months I can really get down to playing stuff, and when it comes down to it, like, maybe I'm just not much of a console active gamer kind of person. I'm more just like that really passive one.
yeah, I think we both are. I think we both are the type of gamer who can literally wait years and to play a game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
This this as well as the PS pass that you were talking about.
yeah, the PS Now.
They both really remind me of uh Steam in a sense for like our PC gamers out there, because Steam also has this kind of system where it has free to play games that are just there, but then there are also certain weekends where you can play specific games. Like some games are just on that free weekend pass, and personally for me, like every so often I have that weekend, it just lines up, or I could schedule it to line up with when one of those things are on just like a free pass, and then I can really just play for free a game that I'll probably want to buy afterward, which will probably be on a sale afterward.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
then you have that in your library afterward.
I mean, like, obviously, this move, as well as Sony PlayStation Now, right? Like, Game Pass and PS Now are ways for them to make money. They look at the market and they see, okay, there are the gamers that buy every game brand new. There are the gamers that buy 1 or 2 games new every year. And then there's the vast majority of people who have a console and never use it, right? Like, for instance, my older brother has a PS4. It sits there. He has like 3 games for it, and that's it. And he just bought Doom, so I guess I'll take that back. He just bought Doom, which again came out last year, and he's been playing that and having a good time with it. But regardless, for the past like year and a half, 2 years, it was not being used. And this is, I think, targeted for people like that. People who want to play games aren't really in the culture, so they don't really know what games are coming out. Because he didn't even know what Doom was until I explained it to him, right? And so this is just a simple thing, like, hey, pay $10 more a month, but now we'll just give you games, and you can just play whatever you want whenever you want. So every night or every Friday night or whenever, right, when you want to just relax, you can just go on to Game Pass, find a game, whether it be a game you played before years ago, a game you remember that you never played, or a game that you have no clue what it is and just going to try it out and just have fun. I think that's what it's for. I think that's where it'll succeed, but the only hard part is, well, if they're not in the culture, like my brother didn't even know what this was. He didn't know what PS Now was. How are they going to buy it? You know what I mean? Like people like you and me hear about it because we care about these things, but we're not their target. We both look at this and we're like, I could probably get a better deal somewhere else.
Yeah.
Plus we're PC gamers, but regardless.
Yeah, I feel like marketing campaigns for these kind of things are usually like left in the background, or like they just put it on maybe like the home screens when people are navigating, but no one really wants to click them because there's nothing that's really telling them like what it's all about, if it's good or not, etc.
Yeah, and the thing is too, let's be real here. We all know that guy, right? We all know that guy who buys every game, whether he plays it or not, when it comes out full price, who has like 1 million different subscriptions, doesn't even use the services, and just keeps the subscriptions. This is also targeted to those people who will sign up for everything and then never use it. Like the guy who gets a gym membership but then never goes. You know what I mean? Like that's, I think they're also banking on that. For all the people that they know are going to be like, I'm going to buy it because I'm a hardcore fan, right? And then never use it. And they're like, we're ranking in, $120 every year from these people. And they don't even use it, and so that's also a thing. Because I did ask my brother, I was like, hey, as a console gamer who doesn't play that games that much, for an extra $10 a month, would you do this? And his answer was no, because I'm already spending so much to play online. So maybe what they should be doing is incorporate this with, like, I don't know, Xbox Live Gold, or with PS Plus, right? Maybe charge a little bit more for that, and you get these games. I don't know, but my brother did not seem like he wanted to put any more money into his console, and I'll be sure. I'm sure I will not be surprised if there are a lot of other gamers out there who feel the same way.
Yeah.
Again,
and the funny thing about the Pass 2,
yeah.
I'm reading the liability waiver thing all the way at like the bottom section.
Uh-huh.
And it's literally telling you, like, unless you cancel the subscription, it will charge you.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Actively, as well as you may not have ability to certain games in certain countries. If you get DLC content for anything and you terminate your subscription, you literally have to buy the game again.
Mm-hmm.
Or what is it? Some titles may only be available for download by adult account users. So unless you're 18 and like your account says so as well, like you might not be able to use a good amount of the library that comes in, depending on how they want to quantify that.
Yeah, exactly. There's going to be strings attached. I don't know. I think our overall impression of this is that it's a good idea. It's a step in the right direction, but it's also, it's not just a good idea. You also have to have the follow through. And I think this is better than PS Now, but I still don't think this is perfect.
Yeah. Well, price-wise, it's better. I don't know if library-wise it'd be better, but looks pretty good, if you are into this kind of thing.
Yep. So, guys, let us know what you think in the comment section down below. Do you have an Xbox? Do you have a PlayStation? Do you have PS Now? Are you going to get Xbox Game Pass? If you have it, let me know what you think. Is it awesome? Does it suit your needs? And why do you prefer it? Are you the type of gamer who buys everything, or do you buy nothing and this is the only way you get your games? Let me know down below. I'm very interested to know what you think. Don't forget to like, rate, comment, subscribe, all the things, and we'll catch you next time.
It's fucking fire.